Yeah, you were stunned as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were here in the studio watching it for Soccer Saturday. What was going through your head at that moment?
Got
You were kicking, you kick a coffee over or something?
Yeah, I did, guys. I did. Yeah, the table went.
The table went.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Disappointing to go 1-0 up so quickly in the game. This is my worry with Chelsea as a team. It's such a young team. Some days you have bad days at the office. Don't lose the football match. You have bad days, but don't lose. You know, you come off that pitch, you go, right, we didn't play well. That's another point. Do you know what I mean? And you're talking fine lines. Chelsea go second that day. They're ninth now. They're ninth. You know, so, you know, in a big game next weekend against Tottenham. So, for me, without that experience, I mean, that goal is such a bad goal. I mean, I dread to think what Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher would say about that goal on Monday Night Football. Do you know what I mean? It was just so much wrong with it. It was scary. And that's the problem. Chelsea are becoming a cup team. Where they're so inconsistent, but they'll win cup games. And and that's the problem. But Chelsea need to be better than that. They need to be pushing for Premier League titles, not winning a cup here and there. And I know last season we won the Europa and won the World Club Championships. But the Europa, as long as they didn't miss their flight, they were going to win that.
Well,
do you know what I mean? They just had to
Yeah.
get to the airport and get on the flight. And as soon as they got on the flight, they were always going to beat the teams in that. So this is a big season for them. Just need to get that little bit of consistency and get some players fit. I heard Maresca talking. I read a bit that he's got some injuries at the moment, and they're not training and they're just playing in the game. So hopefully he can sort that out and the players can get fit.
Well, there is some good news for Chelsea with Liam Delap back from injury. The forward has been out for almost 2 months now, and head coach Enzo Maresca has received criticism for not using long throws as a tactic. But given that Liam's father, Rory Delap, was known for them, is that something they'll now look to exploit?
I said many times that as a human being you can say something, but then you have million person that they can interpret it in different way. And what I can control is what I say. What I cannot control is the mind of people, how they can interpret it. I said that in this moment we are not looking for long throwing, but because I'm a manager that I love to evolve, probably one day I will use that. These are my words. Now if people interpret it in the wrong way, I cannot control. I'm not here to control what the people think. So I didn't ask Liam about long throwing, but again, not tomorrow. Probably one day we're going to ask Liam.
Because he was probably growing up in the back garden, you know,
exactly.
Doing them.
Yeah, I said also that we can swap Liam with this, that.
So Enzo Maresca, not a fan of long throws at the moment, but he's not ruling it out in the future. The Chelsea head coach, though, is in the minority this season because everybody's loving them. Across the Premier League, the number of throw-ins from the final third that end in the opposition penalty area was less than 10% 5 years ago, but the number has steadily risen since then, reaching around 14% last season. Check out, though, what has happened this season across the league, this campaign. Just under 30% of throw-ins in the final third are targeting the opposition box, a real significant increase. And this season it looks like Maresca is actually doubling down on not using the long throw. In his first season in charge, only 9 throw-ins ended in the box. That's just 4.7% of their total. That proportion has actually decreased this season. Only 1 throw-in has ended in the opposition penalty area so far. That's the lowest number of any Premier League side this season. So if Maresca decides to evolve and use the long throw, who might the takers be? So since Maresca took over, the 2 longest Chelsea throws registered in the Premier League have come from Reece James and Marc Cucurella. James chucked it 39 metres, Cucurella just short of him on 34 metres. For context, Michael Coyote, I'm sure you've seen all his long throws this season at Brentford. He can absolutely launch it, 45 metres at least, really, with pace and a great trajectory as well. So, can Liam Delap do it like his dad? We found 4 examples of him taking throw-ins. Here he is, the first one at Hull City. This is since 2023, by the way. I mean, any kids on half-term want to get into TV production, just bear in mind you might be watching Liam Delap throw-ins if you want to get into telly. This one is actually registered as his longest throw for Ipswich in the Premier League season. I think that's around 30 metres. I'm not quite having that. Not the greatest audition for Liam Delap to be a throw-in taker. Speaking of auditions, I don't even know why I put Ed Sheeran on the end. I think I was going to look for a pun. I was going to do a throw-in pun with Ed Sheeran, but I can't think of one now.
OK, maybe you had something in mind.
Perfect.
But well done, Dave. Digging through to get those pictures. You do a great job. Liam Delap, then, could he be the answer? Are they? I mean, obviously he's been out injured, but are they missing a trick?
He won't want to be the answer. He's the centre forward. He needs to score goals. The last thing he needs to be doing is going out there taking throw-ons. He wants to be on the end of them. Yeah, I just think it's a weapon. I really do. I think there's nothing worse. Yeah, it's so hard. You're always in the game with a long throw-on. I played at Stoke enough times. You had to come back. You had to defend it. You had to get back.
So hard to deal with.
Yeah, and him and the lad from Brentford, Delap and the lad from Brentford, they would throw it in. I mean, I'd done a Stoke game on Sky once against Hull, and a lad called the goalkeeper come out for Hull to kick it out for a throw-on, and he stopped the ball and he turned around and kicked it out for a corner. Yeah.
Wow.
Cooked it out, looked out for what is his name? I played with him at Aston Villa, the goalkeeper. Yeah, Bale. Yeah, Mo's Bale. And he literally went to run out and kick it, and he stopped, turned around and kicked it out for a corner. Yeah, unbelievable. I think you might start getting that at Brentford soon. The throw-on's that good.
Yeah.
You know, he can throw it on a sixpence and he throws it.
Launch it.
Yeah.
Just back on Liam Delap then. I mean, how big is it is it going to be for Chelsea to have him back?
Huge. I thought they struggled on Saturday. The lad who he played up front, he touched the ball about 8 or 9 times. He just gives you that, in a way, what Gyökeres gives you at Arsenal. He makes runs, he occupies defenders, he stretches the game, you know, and he's a good player, but he's a battering ram as well, if that makes sense. You know, he's not scared. He puts himself about. He's a strong lad, and he's willing. He's always willing to go that way. He's not too fussed about coming short and getting involved. Yeah, the quicker they can get him back, the better. I mean, that's what they bought him for, to take Jackson's place. That's what Jackson was all about, and that's what they need with him. Because at the moment, you know, I watched Pedro at Forest the week before when they won, and they were a bit fortunate, Chelsea, that day, to be fair. I see him come from centre forward and come and get the ball off the goalie. I mean, Chelsea don't want that. You need a player up there who's going to go that way, spread the game. Then I think you can see people like Pedro who will get on the ball playing in that 10 why Palmer's not fit. So, yeah, for me, got to get back.
Right, let's just hear from Enzo Maresca again, who has hinted that there are likely to be a significant number of changes for their cup tie at Wolves.
The reason why is because we need to rotate. We need to protect players because if we go with the same 11, we're gonna struggle during the season. So we need to rotate, and probably we're gonna make some changes. I don't know how many, but we're gonna make some changes.
So is any guide, for example, beating Forest, making 10 changes and then beating Ajax really well?
I don't know yet. For sure we're gonna make some changes. I don't know now if 9, 10 like we did against between Forest and Ajax. But for sure we're gonna make changes again because we need to do that.
And a chance maybe to rest Enzo, Moises and Yao, who you said were carrying niggles?
Yeah. Probably they are players that they need to be protected for many reasons.
Players that need to be protected. Obviously, it's a cup game tomorrow, so you'd maybe expect changes anyway. But are the changes sort of feeding into this lack of consistency?
Yeah, maybe, and that's why when you look at Arsenal's set plays and how great they are, it's because they play the same team every week. It's consistency, you know, same players come up, everybody knows the corner. You know, with Chelsea at the moment, I do feel sorry for Maresca because he is saying, you know, Casado's a must. Casado has to play. We see that against Forest, comes on at half-time, different game, you know, but he'll be rested, you know, Fernandes, Pedro. But yeah, it's that consistency. But at the same time, you've got to give these other lads an opportunity because they're not playing. And because they're not in the Conference League anymore where they could keep on they had a lot of games and they could rest everybody and still win football matches. That's not the case now. He done well against Ajax, but I don't think that I was at the game. That's not a 5-1 game if the lad doesn't get sent off. So, a bit fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, you make a point about the injuries though, and that obviously playing a part at the moment, especially with the likes of Cole Palmer out injured as well.
Yeah, I mean, Cole Palmer's a must. You know, you look at Delap, he was brought in to take Jackson's place, and
he's not in.
So you're playing Gooey, who doesn't really play a lot anyway, and you hear what the manager's been saying about his training. So yeah, it's been hard, and you know the wingers are in and then they're out. You know, there's no consistency. You know, you need, as players, you want to be playing 6, 7, 8 games on the trot, not 1 here, 2 there. For me, yeah. So I think Maresca needs to get his best team out on the pitch on a consistent basis.
Right, that is Chelsea.
Fourth round tie against Wolves tomorrow. Gary Cottrell is at the club's training ground for us. Good afternoon, Gary. It's a welcome boost for Enzo Maresca after that home defeat to Sunderland on Saturday, is it not?
Yeah, out very early in his Chelsea career, wasn't he, Liam Delap? His last game was the end of August, as you say, almost 2 months without any football while he recovered. He has been training, full training with the rest of the squad since the end of last week, has come through that well and will be involved against Wolves in the Carabao Cup at Molineux tomorrow night. Enzo Maresca making the point that, of course, he won't be able to play a full 90 minutes, but is going to be featured in the matchday squad and get some minutes. And he will, I think, need to use him because he'll make quite a few changes. I imagine he'll rest many players ahead of the Tottenham Hotspur game at the weekend. For example, a good result, a good win over Nottingham Forest. A few days later, ahead of the good win against Ajax in the Champions League, he made 10 changes, including the goalkeeper. So expect similar tomorrow night. Still, though, a strong squad. I think the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and João Pedro, all who've been nursing niggles and nursing a little bit of underlying pain while playing, will be rested tomorrow night, among others. But yet Liam Delap out there, and when you think about Liam Delap, you think about Rory Delap, you think about the current fashion for long throws, undone by a Sunderland long throw, of course, last time out. Enzo Maresca was criticised by some fans, by some pundits, for saying he doesn't really want to adopt long throws because he doesn't like them. He was a bit snippy about it in his last news conference. Well, I asked him about that, and he came out fighting, and he said that potentially one day soon he might ask Liam Delap about whether or not he's got his father's DNA.
As a human being, you can say something, but then you have million person that they can interpret it in different way. And what I can control is what I say. What I cannot control is the mind of people, how they can interpret it. I said that in this moment we are not looking for long throwing, but because I'm a manager that I love to evolve, probably one day I will use that. These are my words. Now, if people interpret it in the wrong way, I cannot control. I'm not here to control what the people think. So I didn't ask Liam about long throwing, but again, not tomorrow. Probably one day we're going to ask Liam.
Because he was probably growing up in the back garden, you know, doing them.
Yeah, I said also that we can swap Liam with this, that.
Well, a bit of a long throw away from Molineux tomorrow night is Karabag next midweek in the Champions League. But of course, first of all, it's Wolves, despite the fact he will make changes. Maresca says that him and the team want to do well because the nearer they get to the final, just 3 games away from the final, the more they are committed to doing well in the competition. And between Carabao and Karabag, there's that big game on Saturday night football at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and 3rd versus 9th in the Premier League. And Wolves tomorrow night and Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the weekend, Saturday night football, both on Sky Sports.